Welcome to another, I was trying to be all smooth and that did not work.
The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Welcome to another Walking Dead retro review. I'm Justin.
I'm Jessi.
And we're the Podcasting Dead, collectively. There are some other people that are the Podcasting Dead, but they're off doing other people's stuff. We are on the struggle bus tonight, man. We're going to get into this, but I've been working on a washing machine for the last 30 minutes, getting nowhere. And then I sit down to podcast and my mic cable goes bad. So I had to do an impromptu switch. And now it's all over the place, and my OCD's going bananas. But anyways...
It's a full moon tonight, though, right? So maybe that's what's...
It could be. It could be. There's something happening. I don't know. The moon was big as hell last night, but...
It was so pretty.
It was beautiful and kind of scary. I feel like werewolves everywhere were celebrating.
Yeah.
But anyways,
right.
So we are still in Season 5. We are on Episode 6, Season 5, Episode 6. This one is called Consumed, and it was directed by Seth Mann. It's spelled S-E-I-T-H. Is that Seth or Seth? We're just going to go super country and call him Seth Mann. It was written by Matthew Negrete and Corey Reed, and it featured the music Bad Blood by Alison Mozart and Eric. Why are there so many hard to pronounce names? This is an American show, man. I figured they would just have the most boring American names, like Brian Johnson, Thomas Smith. No, instead they've got all these cool exotic names. And it originally aired November the 16th, back in the day, 2014. And Jessi, what did you think about this one?
I think it confused me a whole lot. So much so.
Oh my goodness. What confused you? Let's start at the beginning. Tell me everything.
The way that it was skipping through the scenes, I did not understand what the point was. I didn't know what I was trying to gather. I don't know what they want me to understand.
Now, when you say skipping through scenes, because I actually just got done watching the episode not too many minutes ago, and I don't remember you talking about the way the season is skipping through. Because the episode was pretty linear. Because it starts with Carol.
Okay.
Well, you know what? So it did go back in time in the beginning.
Yeah.
And showed when Carol left Rick, which I thought was really cool. It was cool to see kind of where she went, what she was doing that whole time. And I love the scene where she pulls back up to the prison and you see the tower on fire and the reflection of her windshield. But then after that, it was pretty linear, right?
I don't know if it was. I didn't get that because I was very lost about. I guess she was having flashbacks, but I was like, why are we seeing all these things that she's done and they're not even in order? Were they in order? Because I didn't think they were, but maybe I just thought that because they were flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You got to see a little bit more of Noah this episode. You know who that is, right? You know who that kid is?
No.
Do you remember that show, Everybody Hates Chris?
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, Jessi.
Is he a kid?
Yeah, he's Chris. He's the main character, but everybody hates Chris.
He's Chris.
He's Chris. It's an awesome show. I mean, it's been a while, but Terry Crews is in it. How can you not like anything Terry Crews is in? You know what I mean?
Who's Terry Crews?
Jessi. Lord Jesus, Jessi. All right. So you've seen White Chicks, right?
Oh, the one that's fucking fast. Yeah.
I need you. That's Terry Crews. It's impossible to watch that man.
His name.
It's impossible to watch him and not be happy.
Yeah, you're right.
Which he plays the dad, and he's funny, but he's kind of he's a little. Well, he's kind of, I don't know. He's more of the dad you don't want to mess with type deal. The working class will stomp you in the ground type dad, which he's a big dude. But anyways, so that's who that is. He was on Everybody Hates Chris. But I remember when this episode aired way back in the day and thinking that like Daryl and Carol were going to end up hooking up this episode.
I always think that. Literally always, but
just give it to us.
Happen. Yeah, I just want to see a little kiss or something.
Just
Y'all don't
give
even
it to us.
Bang.
By giving it to, no, they got to bang. They 100% got to bang.
Okay, but like we can leave some things to the imagination. If they're kissing, then
No,
I don't have to see it.
I don't want to imagine anything. I want to see this with my own eyes. I want it to just be raunchy. Neither one of them have showered in a while. They both greasy and dirty. The
you want to be able to smell it through the screen.
Oh my God, that is so disgusting. Oh, but it would be a stinky hot mess. But
yeah.
I remember thinking like, oh, they about to kiss. Like they've gone back to like Carol's little apocalypse apartment. I was like, yeah, Carol's done brought him back to the sea pad. She's about to get some stanky wanky, and it never happened.
And when they're done, Daryl's gonna be like, I have a hankering for tuna now. I don't know why.
I bet people that have never listened to this podcast are like, holy crap, why? We don't normally talk so much about nasty whoopee time, but like this piques my interest.
And Carol.
Man. Right. But I really thought they were going to hook up, and then they didn't.
I did too.
And so then they're looking for a building to scout the area. They find that office building or whatnot, and they don't realize they're being followed. What did you think was going on there?
I don't know. I mean, I figured it was the same people that took Beth, but also when they ran into Noah, I didn't realize who it was. I was like, why does he look so familiar? But then I realized it was the dude from the hospital. And then I don't know why was he being such a douchebag? Like you're by yourself.
I think he's just trying to survive. He doesn't know them or if they're good people or what. I did think they missed a good opportunity though, because remember when Carol leaves Rick and she's sitting in the car, like head on the steering wheel, and then the zombie starts beating on the window and she's screaming and she's like, go away. And then like when her and Daryl are following that guy and they stop and they're kind of scoping the scene or whatever, and that zombie kind of taps on the window, and then before they leave, she like rolls down the window and stabs it. It'd have been so dope if she'd have been like, go away. Because it would have called back to that other scene, like kind of how much more comfortable she is when she's with her people.
Yeah. Yep. That's yeah. They missed it.
Missed opportunity.
Come
on, Carol.
I wish we could go back and like refine the episodes.
Oh yeah. Well, to Noah's credit though, he did apologize after he took their stuff and then cut open the tent full of walkers. I'm sorry.
Well, he had. Yeah, why would you do that?
I think
he's like, okay.
I think he could just look at Daryl and tell, if I don't distract this guy, he's going to kill me. Like 100%.
He was wrong.
This is you're at like prime rugged, which Daryl's a Banff, but this Daryl is just one you just don't want to mess with. And it's like, I think he could just look at him and tell, man, this guy will tear me to pieces. Like, let me distract him long enough to get away.
Well, little did he know he should probably be more worried about Carol.
No kidding, because as I'm saying that, Carol's the one that tried to shoot him, and Daryl stopped her. I remember when this show was going on, that was one of my complaints about Daryl, though, is he flip-flops so much. So, like, right now, it's like, why'd you kill him? Don't try to kill him. And then you'll get points with Daryl's like, we need to accept strangers. And you get to point where Daryl's like, I don't like strangers. And then he'll be back to like, we need to accept people. So Daryl 1 minute is like, don't shoot the poor boy. And then the next minute is like, kill him. I'll do it myself.
Well, it's not beyond reason to think that maybe he has multiple personalities.
Yep. Oh man, with that bookshelf, I was like, ooh, that could hurt.
Yeah. What would you have done? If Noah did to you what he did to them, what would you have done in that situation? Would you have been Carol or Daryl?
Oh, I would have been, I don't know, man. I like to think I'd have some humanity left, but at the end of the day, it is survival, and you just stole the things that helped to keep me alive and then set walkers loose on me. So I probably would just have been like, get the shot, take it.
Yeah, me
But
too. I think I would have too.
if I loved my crossbow as much as Daryl loves his crossbow, I probably, would have done something bad too.
I can't believe Daryl just handed it over so easily. He didn't have a backup plan.
No?
That's
Yeah.
his baby.
That's your baby. That's my baby bow.
That's my baby.
I can't let you leave without it.
Forget Beth. We have to find my crossbow.
What about the van going over the overpass? Like, that's not survivable.
That's like, right. That was a stretch. That was a real stretch. I really thought this was the end. I thought it was the end because who survives that?
What if that was just like
Carol
the
and
end of
Daryl.
Carol and Daryl? Their story ends with them going going off a bridge in a van.
It's like this what it comes to. It had to end one way or the other, and this is very uneventful way. Nobody saw it coming.
Now you know how Carol ended up at the hospital, at least.
Oh, I'm mad about that.
Why are you mad about that?
Because okay, did they run over her on purpose, or did she like?
I mean,
they didn't see her.
I think that they did it on purpose because their whole thing is like, we save you, and then you're indebted to us forever.
Yes. So, which makes me believe that creeper cop dude really didn't save Beth. Like what he said happened, I don't think that really happened. And now seeing this, like they really hurt her on purpose.
Well, and it's just like you go and you help people. You give people help with the expectation of, I'm going to enslave you forever. So like everything is help. Like I would hate to borrow a piece of gum from one of those people. And you'd be like, hey man, you got a piece of gum? Here you go. Awesome. Come with me. You owe us for that gum.
Well, they are messing with the wrong people because Daryl gonna get them.
Well,
He's gonna get back.
He's going back to get the Rick crew. So, I mean, they, and especially it's Beth. It's one of their own people and Carol. So it's a double whammy. It's two of their people. So of course they're going to come back ready to stomp some butt. So we'll definitely be seeing them on that path coming up.
And I just realized just now, like Beth and Carol are the ones that he's like the closest to, that he's opened up the most with.
That's true.
And they're both there.
No, you're right. Interesting, too. I'm seeing that when this episode aired, it was watched by 14.7 million people. Well, 14.07
that many people
million.
In the world?
Yeah, it's like 8 billion now.
I'm just playing.
This is actually was higher viewed than the last episode. But yeah, that's interesting, man. It was viewed by a lot of people. This whole hospital saga, I'm just not that fond of. Like I'll be honest with you, I am so excited for us to just be rid of that. Like to get through this part of the Walking Dead story. Like it can't happen soon enough. Because so many cool things are on the way. Didn't
you say that this was like one of your favorite seasons? Or no?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I used to say season 2 was my favorite season just because it's where I really got invested in the show and just so many memorable moments from season 2. And then, of course, season 4, episode 8 is my favorite episode just because it's so sad. But so sad. But
well, this season started out so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here, and the last few episodes I haven't really been into a whole lot. Like, and this one just really confused me just because of it just going to all these different scenes with Carol, like where she was at what times or whatever. And I didn't understand it. And that night I dreamed like in that it was like scenes like that. It was like I was watching the show, but like it wasn't the show. It was like my life in the dream. But anyways,
I've been hearing about your dreams for the last at least 20 years of my life. No, at least the last 22 years of my life. And I've yet to begin to understand any of them.
Me either. And it's every single night.
I wish I could
Every night.
dream. I rarely dream, and when I do, it's, I don't know, like I'll even take nightmares just to dream. Like I miss dreaming so much. Should we play some Creed?
Sorry.
When dreaming. Come on, you used to love Creed. What are you talking about?
I did not.
Jessi used to be the biggest Creed fan ever.
Oh my God. Literally every time.
She used to have posters of Scott Stapp on her wall. She'd sing the songs. Like little 13-year-old Jessi would be like, "Can you take me?" You did. Don't deny it.
I don't even know any Creed songs, but every time my girlfriend's like, "What do you want me to play?" I'm like, "Not Creed. Anything but Creed."
Listen, Jessi. And also, you try to be like, "I didn't like Linkin Park." You used to like Linkin Park.
I didn't.
You did. I promise you did. I can tell you several stories. You used to have a Linkin Park t-shirt, Jessi. It was a red Linkin Park t-shirt. I promise you did. You know how my memory is. You know.
What I think is happening. You do have a really good memory, so. But I think that we lived in two different timelines back then, and now we're in this timeline. But like in your timeline, I like terrible music, and in my timeline, I didn't.
I'm kidding about the Creed thing. Jessi's never liked Creed, but you did used to like Linkin Park. Because
I'll take your word for it.
You and a friend of yours, her older brother Vince, had gotten a Hybrid Theory CD, and y'all like opened it and listened to it and loved it.
Well, that makes sense because I obsessed over Vince. Remember, I used to wear Vince pants.
Yes, I remember Vince
like
pants.
Him.
And you also, you and I have attended a Linkin Park concert together.
Did we?
No, actually, you weren't there, but you wanted to be. That's right. I forgot you weren't there. Your boyfriend at the time was, and it was me, him, your friend, and yeah, it was like Linkin Park Story of the Year, POD, and Seven Dust, I think. But you were super jelly that you couldn't be there.
Probably.
So, Miss Linkin Park fanatic, I still love Linkin Park. Thank you very much.
Whatever floats your boat.
So, Jessi and I do have some common music, though, that we like.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
All right. So, let's go ahead and rate this episode because I think we've kind of covered most stuff. We get a flashback of Carol. Her and Daryl are going down the road. They're following these people. They run into Noah. He takes their stuff. They run a van off of a very high bridge, and then they catch up and get their stuff. And then Noah and Daryl, after Carol getting struck by a police officer, they go back to get the help of their group. So that's pretty much the gist of the episode. Jessi, on a scale of 1 to 5, how you gonna rate this bad boy? Let's see it. There it is. Hey, that's what I was going to, yeah, 3. That's what I was going to give it. It's like, it's not bad, but it's not particularly good either.
You know what else I literally am just now realizing? It's so crazy because, Carol was a victim of abuse by her husband, right?
Right.
Then he dies and she becomes like this badass woman that could have always been there, but wasn't because she was scared of her husband. Then we find out that she used to go to the shelter or this, whatever it was, for battered women or abuse or whatever.
That's what they call it, the battered women shelter. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But she hasn't escaped it. This whole episode, she's been getting beat up.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
And she's probably as strong as she is because her husband used to abuse her. Otherwise, I don't think she would have the wherewithal to get through all of this beating.
Yeah.
Is she gonna die?
She could. It's The Walking Dead, man, and anybody could die. Anybody could die at any time. Nobody's safe.
We just had a whole episode about her.
Yep.
Oh, no. No.
Not before she gets that sweet Daryl butt.
They have to make love child together.
They have to make...
First. And
we don't even say like they got to bang. They have to make love. Her and Daryl. I'm going to lick
what would their kid be named?
I'm going to lick that grease off your body, baby. You can combine Daryl and Carol to be Carol or Daryl.
Right. Daryl
So-
and Carol.
It's like, you have your couples where you can like mush their names together. Like if it was Rick and Maggie, it could be Raggy or Mick.
Mick.
But with Daryl and Carol, it's like combine their names and it's Daryl and Carol. So
Yeah, exactly.
they be Care Dare.
Oh,
My little Care
do love that.
Dare. I love you, Care Dare. I love you, Dare Bear.
Dare Bear.
Then Rick would pop up and be like, I'm the only one that gets to call him Dare Bear.
I miss Rick.
I do too. Let's go see him.
And I want to see more Rick.
Don't we all? You will next episode, I'll tell you that. Rick will be back in
Good.
the fold next episode, and we will see you here next week. Patreon peeps, you're hearing this a few days early. For everyone on YouTube and all the other stuff, y'all are getting this. It's Saturday, so have a good weekend. Enjoy it, and we will see you next week. And Jessi and I are talking, for the people over on Patreon, I want to start doing more like conversational podcasts with me and Jessi, just like talking about stuff that's not Walking Dead related. So we'll definitely start posting some of that on the Patreon as well. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, keep being a Patreon subscriber. And we definitely,
Maybe we should take some suggestions.
Yeah, okay. Tell us what you want us to talk about in the comments section, and then we will talk about it on the Patreon. We can get together sometime in the next day or two and record a Patreon cast. It'll be quick, easy, and painless.
Ooh.
Unlike Daryl and Carol Whoopie time.
Oh, no.
That's going to be rough. Here, take the crossbow.
No,
But-
he's going to hold on to it the entire time. I've lost it before. I ain't going to lose it again.
Bite the arrow. All right. That is going to wrap it up for us. I'm Justin,
I'm Jessi.
and we're the Podcasting Dad. Adios. Good night. Sayonara.
Peace.
Goodbye.